So we're going to take you into a little glade in the forest. And there we will sit you down in the deep heat of this summer in the coastal mountains of northern California where they had some land. And we will ask you a question: what is of true value? What is of true worth? And we want you to promise that you will never leave that little 3-meter diameter piece of ground until you have answered that question to our satisfaction. You okay with that? Now, I was a young, bullish, had a lot of belief in myself. I'm a powerful young man. I feel great. I'm indomitable, of course. I'm not stupid. I'm sure I can work this out. What is of true value? What is of true worth? But they said, first, let us just say that we are indigenous people. We're very practical people. So if things like, I don't know, world peace, or eternal love, or anything of that kind springs to mind, please don't bore us. No, we are practical people. What would matter to indigenous people living close to the earth? What is of true value? What is of true worth? So I sat down on this little piece of ground, and they turned on their heels and they walked away. And as I saw them disappearing, I suddenly thought, damn, I should have asked for a little bit of food and some water maybe. But they'd gone. I said, no problem, I asked them tomorrow. And I sat in this little piece of ground with amongst the grasses and the woods all around me, the forest around me, and the sun rolling up. It gets very hot. Midsummer, northern California in the mountains there. Now, by the time we got to the same time the following day, it was the longest I had ever been without food or water. But to be honest, food had long since disappeared as something not particularly important. But my thirst. I wonder how many of us have ever gone 24 hours without water. So I felt thirsty at a level that I had never felt before. So as they came to me walking across out of the woods and across the grassland, and they approached me and they said, Mac, what is of true value? What is of true worth? I've been thinking a lot, and I thought I had a good answer. I'm afraid I can't remember now what it was, but I spoke it, and they laughed at me and turned on their heel and started to walk away. And I was calling after them, oh, by the way, you know, some food or water, and they'd gone. And the second day began. Same day, the following day, and now I'm 2 days without food and water. 2 days without water in midsummer, hot sun. And I'm beginning to look like a little white grape that's sort of crinkled at the sides. It's just crumpling. It's beginning to fold in upon itself. And I'm thirsty at a profound level. Like all I can think about is water. And they come to me again. Now it's almost like they're dancing across the heat of the grass as they come moving towards me. And their expressions soften a little bit as they see how the state that I'm in. Mac, what is of true value? What is of true worth? And I open my mouth to speak, and tears just poof out of my eyes, and I'm just weeping in front of them, and I can't speak. And one of them lightly touches my shoulder, and they turn away and they walk away again. The end of the third day, they started coming towards me. And as they came close to me, they said, Mac, what is of true value? They didn't even finish the question. And I just croak back at them, water. And suddenly they're all smiles, wreathed in smiles. They say, ah, hey, yes, water. Water is sacred. Half the world's population would give anything for a glass of clean water. But you have never been thirsty. You have no sense of the value of water. Wars will be fought over water. Wars will be fought. And at the end of everything, no matter what beliefs people have, in the end, they will know that water is sacred. Water is everything to life. Water is where we came from. Water it is that allows us to dream with lucidity. Water is profound. Food. You have never been hungry in your whole life. Whenever you want to eat, you can stuff your face. Good food, bad food, it's just there all the time for you. Air to breathe, everything. So you see, you present us with a great challenge. How do we train this young man who is not even aware of the fact that he is one of the tiny percent on this earth most privileged to have a place to rest his head and sleep and be safe at night, without fear that the door will be stoved in and people will rob you? Okay, it might happen, but basically most of us don't expect that we will be hauled out of our beds, taken down to some place, tortured and then tossed as a corpse on the garbage heap at the end of that night. How do we train this man who has no sense of the extraordinary nature of the ordinary? And when our earth's people, all around this most sacred earth, begin to remember that it is a privilege to be alive on this earth, and that she is our mother, when that day happens and that deep remembering takes place, then we have a chance that we will find our way through this.